Morning all, welcome back. As promised last week, I've brought you back down to the site of what was Walkley Clogs. Let you have a quick look. There's not much left of it now. Bit of a history behind it. It was built in the mid 1800s as a spinning wool mill, um, and it went on uh, being used as that until around about 1946 when it was bought by Frank Walkley, and they produced the Maud's Soul clogs, and it went on. Uh, it was still producing clogs when I turned up in about 1989. In the 80s, it was turned into like a well, it was the premier visitor site for Hebden Bridge, and quite successful. It had shops, had a like a well, a proper visitor centre. People come from miles around, and we had coach trips. It had a kiddies play area with ball pool and all sorts of things. It used to get quite busy all through the week. It weren't just the weekends; it was all through the week. As police officers, how it affected us. I'll just show you this is the A646 Burnley Road. As you can see, it runs to Hebden Bridge, and the other side runs towards Mytham Road. For us, early Saturday and Sunday mornings, we'd be out distributing round about 70 or 80 cones up and down both sides of the road, because it was the visitors were turning up and they were parking within these double white lines. So we were out putting the cones out, and then we'd come back later on. We'd end up dishing a load of tickets out for it were code 214 on the fixed penalty tickets. 214, code 214, which is cause unnecessary obstruction. And as you just see where that van's going there, we were putting cones both sides, all the way up on towards Follingroyd, and more or less to where the Tithe Barn is, in both directions. But eventually, the owners of Walkley's got their acts together. They were getting plenty of complaints, and it was. I don't think it affected too much trade, because there were different people turning up every week and ended up getting tickets. And we did have some dramas now and again with people. I remember one lady, she'd come back to her car and I'd just finished giving her a ticket, a non-endorsable ticket. So I think it was £16 for it, and she got in the right tiz was over it, and she went to grab her bag to pull her camera out to take a photograph of me. For some reason, there were no camera phones or anything in those days. And as she pulled the bag out, the poor lass, she pulled all her picnic stuff out with it, and all the big monster-sized packet of crisps exploded on the floor. Oh, it weren't right nice, and she got really, really upset. But yeah, as time went on, the owners of Walkley Clogs bought a big piece of land where I'm just taking you now, and they turned it into a massive car park. You can't get on here now because of these rocks. But yeah, in the day it was a massive car park for Walkleys, and it did alleviate quite a lot of the parking problems that we did have on Burnley Road. People still park there, and there were all sorts of things going on for years and years. I'm just taking you on now by the, like I said, it's a massive, massive car park. And at one time, Walkleys did put on like a little model train that you could sit on. They put the tracks down, and tourists could sit on this and go for a train ride to the far end of the car park. That's it. It's a massive area, and the place used to be packed more or less 7 days a week between 9 and I think it closed around about 7 o'clock or something like that. Yeah, it had all sorts in there. It were, as well as making the clogs. And I read somewhere, or somebody told me once, that there was some top rock band that the lead singer in that band swore by Walkley clogs, and he used to wear them to the gigs and everything. It was a really good publicity boost for for the company. Yeah, I'll just take it. It's a fair distance on, and I think they had a chap who were looking after the parking on here. I'll let you just have a look. It just stretches for miles and miles. Yeah. Yeah. After that was great during the day, and then at night time it turned into something else. There were it became a sort of a illicit meeting spot for people who were meeting up and doing what people do at night. The first time I came on, there were two cars parked side by side, and I just thought, what's this all about? And one of the cars had steamy windows, the other one was clear, so it was obviously a liaison of some sort. Yeah, there we go. That's it. I'd say it stretches for miles. I'm not going to take you all the way on there. Yeah, so it was during the night time. It was used for that sort of business, and there were quite a few caught out, and it weren't just ordinary Joes and Josephines. There were quite a lot of the great and good from Hebden Bridge and surrounding area who we got caught out with it. We'd drive along with a Land Rover. Of course, it was pitch black, and we put the searchlights on, which we had. It was also a dumping ground for knock-off cars. There were quite a few Vauxhall Astras getting nicked, so we'd come on and just check that these weren't stolen vehicles that were being parked up. So yeah, and then sort of later on during the night, we did have quite a few car fires where the lads had nicked the cars, had the fun and games in it, brought them on here and set fire to burn all the evidence and get rid of all the evidence of their fingerprints and things. Yeah, so it's it did keep us busy, because we had to, like I say, during the daytime we were out putting the cones out, and then in the evening we had to go back and collect them all. So it was a case of I counted them all out, and I counted some of them back, because quite a few of them got sort of thrown in the canal or the river. I think out of protest more than anything else. We did have a chief inspector who took it on himself to really sort of, police the amount of cones that were going out and coming back in. So we had to keep a log of all these cones, which, I mean, it sounds ridiculous now. They won't get police putting cones out, well, not that many anyway, and then spending the rest of the day down here dishing code 214s out and sticking them onto cars. It just wouldn't happen. So that's how it was. But you probably get the council or something if need be now, but not. It wouldn't be a police job, wouldn't that? Yeah, I just a bit further on here. I think it was just around. I think it was just about here. There were a large skip, which it were mostly for the lads making the clogs, and there was offcuts and bits of leather and all the rest of it thrown into this skip. And one of our lads, he had permission. He went in to see him. He said, "Oh, do you mind if I take these offcuts and bits of leather?" And they were quite happy to say, "Oh yeah, you take them." Because we've got to pay each time the skip is full. So if you're checking them, it cuts down on our costs as well. So what you were doing, we went round collecting, looking in this skip, and we were taking bits. Oh, I said, this'll do, and oh, look at this bit of leather here, Martin. Oh, look, there's some studs here as well. And I thought, what the hell's he doing with these things? And it turned out what he were doing, he was a bit of a dab hand at joinery, and he were making, believe it or not, rocking horses. So the first year I started down here in '89, the Christmas '89, my girls got a lovely rocking horse that he made, and a couple of hobby horses. But what you were doing during the year, they were absolutely beautiful toys, like traditional Victorian toys with all the leather and pieces that he put on there. They look really, really good. And I think what he were doing, he were obviously making them up during the year, and he'd loaded up a tranny van and ended up going to markets. I think he went down to London at some stage with these rocking horses and hobby horses, selling these things on. But yeah, as with the people that we caught in the cars doing these things, there's no names or anything mentioned here. Your secret's safe with us or with me. So yeah, it was. There were good times. It was a good time to be working from down here. It were all sort of new to me. It was literally like it was like being on a set of Heartbeat plenty of times. Now I'm just going to take you onto the main road, and I'll explain what happened it was December 1990. So it were a normal sort of Saturday. We'd put the cones out in the morning, and me and my pal, it got to the back end of our shift, and he just said, right, what we'll do now, we'll have the final last blast onto Mytham Road before we go off duty. So we came on the road here, came along from Hebden, drove past Walkley's, where people coming out. Most of the folk that were been visiting here were on the way out, back to the vehicles and the coaches and everything else. We had a look around Mytham Road, Nest Estate, up to Banksfield, and like a final sort of sweep before we finished. And within 5 minutes, we got a radio call. FD5, I think we were, FD5. Can you go to Walkley Clogs, report of a fire? And I thought, what the hell's that all about? Anyway, we set off, and I thought, oh, somebody set fire to bloody skip or something like that. But when we got here, I say it's where those trees are now. That was the large mill, and when we came along from the bend from the Mytham Road direction, the whole of the top floor was ablaze. So we pulled up where I am now. That's the canal behind us. We leapt out straight into the main entrance, and the people just milling about, just coming. They were totally oblivious that the whole of the top floor were ablaze. I think that was where the restaurant part was. So yeah, we got everybody out. The fire brigade were called. They turned up, and basically that was us till 8 o'clock at night. We closed off the whole of Burnley Road, and it was a devastating fire. Just before Christmas too, like I say, it was a fantastic place to come. They had a Christmas shop where you could buy decorations for your trees, and there were people buying Christmas presents from there, and it was Hebden Bridge's premier visitor centre, which was almost the top floor were destroyed. It was quite a big thing for the town, really. It did reopen, but it never really it never got back to its former glory of how it was when I first came down here. And I think it closed around about 1999, and then for that time after, we did get called out to quite a few burglar alarms going off. We wait for the key holder and have a trek around. It was just like, well, I'd say it was the touristy equivalent of the Marie Celeste. They'd just left it, and we went inside. There were all where they made the clogs, because the people making the clogs moved to another unit in Mytham Royd. But as we went through the old building, it was quite ghostly, really. What was once the site of happy voices and laughter and everything where the kids' place was, it was a ghostly silence. And then I think it was 1st of August 2019, which wasn't so long ago. There was a final fire which totally devastated the place, and it's as you see it now. So it's a bit sad, really. Like I say, it were a right good place to come and visit, and it did put Hebden Bridge on the map. So that was it. That was the end of Walkley Clogs. I don't know what's going to happen to it now, or the mill at least. End of the mill. Somebody said there were going to be some houses put on here, but it's 6 years since the fire, since the last fire. It was demolished. It was flattened, as you see. And there's nothing on. There's no planning notices or anything like that. So I don't know what's going to happen to it, really. I think in time it will be houses, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. So yeah, that was Walkley Clogs. So I hope you enjoyed the short video, and take care, and keep smiling. Thanks very much. Bye bye. Yeah, this video, it's a story which features in book 1, the blue covered one, notes made at the time. There's some more stories in there that I will cover in later videos. So that's it. I hope you enjoy these things, and take care. Look after yourself. Ta-ra.